I decided to spend next 10 hours learning Kiriko, and this is what happened. I start every single 10-hour challenge with YouTube and search for guides as well as watch the VODs of the players to pinpoint the cool tips and tricks that they are using, which are hidden from my beginner's eye. As soon as I started playing the character, I already knew she's gonna be one of my favorites. Incredible damage potential, insane saving potential, because I feel like this is the only character that can save teammates that are way out of position and have to die, but you are Kiriko and you can TP and cleanse and then maybe use Kitsune and like diff the opponents with the advantage. Oh my god. I played Tracer, Widow, Cassidy, Moira, and Sigma, and I would say that Kiriko has to be my best character so far in terms of like how much I enjoyed playing the game. Like the worst has probably to be Moira. Like I felt useful, I felt like I am helping my team, I felt like I am playing the game with people, you know, not like a player that's playing alone. Oh my god, that was a great experience. I loved it. Looking at my 3-hour mark gameplay of Kiriko, I still feel like I was a little bit clunky and did not quite understand the whole potential of the character. Although this Hawk player in this clip should have died like 10 times already if it was not for me. And that was one of the greatest and the worst feeling I've had when playing support and playing Kiriko, especially the fact that you have to really calculate when and how to use your cleanse, whether you should be greedy or you should give it up like that. I have lost so many fights and I have won so many fights based on whether I saved a teammate or not, which was like so clutch sometimes. It's like you need like 100 milliseconds more and you will absolutely div the enemy team, otherwise you will just lose. Yeah you can still think you can still see that I'm pretty bad with my kunais and I was not really getting the most value out of it, although it was great. This was the moment where I started playing with my master's friend and the lobbies were pretty rough, I would say. So I learned from the scratch. Thankfully, the character is not that hard when you get the grip of it. 4-hour mark is when I finally started to level up my kunai game. I already understood what I'm capable of, my pros and cons of a character, whether I should jump to save a person or should I let him be. And that was a moment of revelation of how strong the Kiriko is, and I almost felt invulnerable. I felt like I can survive in moments and situations where other characters would fail miserably, partly because of my small hitbox, partly because of my offensive damage and ability to pressure opponents. I remember I saved so many players like at that point. And as I've said before, I don't think I've said it before, I have never, ever, with 10 hours, received any hate towards myself. There was one guy who said that I need to DPS less and heal more, but that was that. When I was playing Moira, almost every second game, I felt like I need to just, like, I need to switch the character, delete Overwatch and never play it again. Honestly, this is how I felt. With Kiriko, no. People were grateful. I was getting endorsed a lot more and stuff. I was, yeah. I remember this was the moment where I started feeling the character, and I could not stress how freaking valuable that feeling of saving your teammates was. It is just insane. I feel like every person that's related to medicine feels the same when they are saving a guy, for example a surgeon, right? He's saving a dude and the dude is like, holy, you saved my life. Obviously I'm exaggerating here and this is just a game, but our monkey brain does not differentiate game with reality. Most of the time I felt like I was having a lot of like space created moments. I felt like I was saving my teammates where they should have died. It was great. It was actually amazing. The Hour 6 game was exceptionally interesting because I had a moment of aha when I was like, yo, I can actually pressure my opponents a lot more. I can take duels a lot more and use my right click to get rid of opponents. I felt like I'm in the zone. If you've seen the basketball anime, you'll get the idea what I'm talking about. My kunais were hitting the heads, and I was like, holy, this Cassidy was actually like suffering tremendously. This Ashe player should have died 10 out of 10 times if I would have played Moira. Sadly for the enemy team, I was not Moira. And yeah, that was actually great. I was cruising through the ranked at that point. Obviously, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but I certainly felt a lot more confident playing Kiriko. And I enjoyed it a lot more. There is a direct correlation between your level of competence and the happiness, the pure inner happiness that you feel when doing your craft. It's called the flow state, when you really don't see anything, you just focus on the things that's in front of you, and that's what I felt when I was playing. This Hour 7 game was by far my most successful and enjoyable to watch support game of all support games I've played so far. I was doing so much work cleansing that Orisa ultimates multiple times a game, landing some insane headshots, going for the Widow diff at the window here. You know, it was actually amazing. I felt like I am on top of my game. I was hard carrying as a support. I was doing my 25%. I was doing my 20%, right? Every single player is 20% and everyone has to do their job. I felt like I was doing 40, you know? I was like, this guy trying to stick me, I cleansed it, and then I'm like, well, where is he? Then I just turned around, headshot at him. Unfortunately, my Zarya died because of it. It was really interesting because this game went to overtime, even though I was like calling the things out. I was doing a lot of work, and we had a very good Zarya versus Orisa matchup. It was just great, dude. Like I was cooking like a Michelin chef, 3-star Michelin chef course, you know, with 5 meals at the same time. Like, look at that. This dude was trying to result, and I just TP'd in, cleansed, and we managed to turn the fight around because of it. Like, oh my god, dude, that was great. That was actually great. And at the end of that day, we were able to land like a very comfortable 5-minute versus a minute overtime, and after a bit of choking, we were able to convert that into a W here. I'm like, whoo! I felt the character. I was like, yo, this is amazing. At the 8-hour mark, I felt that I am way more accurate with my cleanses, and the character is very, very simple, and I understand how to play it. Obviously, this knowledge is limited by my very little Overwatch experience, but I'm learning, improving every single day. I was able to catch that Kiriko lacking, and we were actually down bad, like 23 to 83. It feels like the enemy team is just gonna diff us anytime soon, but we were able to pull out or I would say to pull off an amazing comeback and get the W here with the Kitsune rush. I was like the worst nightmare of every single Mercy player. This Hanzo is gonna remember me for the rest of his life as well, and that was the final fight of the Hour 8 game. I was able to land enough kunais to div the Sigma, and that headshot was great. Nice. it is quite obvious that 10-hour mark is definitely not enough time to really master the character, but I understood the basics, and that was very much enough for me to really get the feeling that I am useful, get the feeling that I can actually produce value for my team and not be a Moira player. I can actually be a support for my DPS players and a tank that I can actually save their lives if they made a mistake, or the opponents the opponents are just doing something outstanding. I felt exceptionally great on hour 9. I did not want this challenge to end. It was great, and I very much enjoy playing Kiriko.
What?
I would 100% say that this is definitely my favorite character right now, and if I would not do challenges, I would definitely play Kiriko. Would I OTP her? Probably not, because I don't like the support role, but if I were to play support, the only character I would play is Kiriko. Exceptional on every single map, exceptional on every single comp, whether it's dive, brawl, just great overall, great damage, great model, great mobility. There is nothing wrong about this character. Sometimes the teleport is not working, but that's just nothing in comparison with the pros that you are getting. Looking back at the whole experience, I honestly did not realize how cool and enjoyable that experience, that journey was. I felt great. I felt like I am useful. I felt like I am a part of the ship, part of the crew. Just like the dude from Pirates of the Caribbean said. Should you play this character? Absolutely. It's an absolute S tier in Season 4. Still incredibly strong, has the potential to carry the games just by outvaluing supports and helping your tank to survive a lot longer than he should. Damage is awesome if you can land those daggers consistently throughout the fight and get the picks, or just pressure the opponents. That would be just absolutely great, and you will win more and more games as a result. As I've said, I felt awesome. I haven't encountered a single piece of hateful comments towards my gameplay, even when I failed, even when I did not cleanse at the right time, when I did not have enough experience. It was just such an enjoyable journey. Even when I was losing, it still felt like I am doing so much, and it was great. It was completely opposite with Moira, for example, and if you would ask me to rate the characters that I've done the 10-hour challenge with, I would say that Kiriko is gonna be number 1, then it's gonna be Widowmaker, then it's probably gonna be Sigma. The worst one was definitely the Cassidy before Sigma, Sigma, and then the worst one was definitely Tracer and Moira. I felt really bad playing them. And yeah, the experience was awesome. I highly advise you to try this character out, even if you are not playing support role. This is gonna be a very nice and interesting change of pace. Thank you very much for being there with me. Thank you very much for sticking around. See you in the next one, 10-hour challenge. Peace.